that's entered my mind this morning. I've got something different. Finally found this microphone on here, you all. I hope you can hear me. If aliens exist, why can't we all see them? See, that's what's entered my mind. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's very difficult for people to believe in UFOs, to believe in aliens and stuff, because let's face it, it's not something that you're going to see every day. Not everybody has this certain innate ability within them to see into the spiritual realm or the other dimension in which they reside. Now, granted, hello there, they do have the ability to fully manifest into physical form. But that's what's entered my mind this morning. The question, which I know within my spirit um, that they do exist, and some do refer to them as some say, well, they're fallen angels, they're demons. There are some that are angels. So I'm going to refer back to a comment that I read this morning on the YouTube. Gina Hunt. Well, they didn't say Gina Honey, but I'm going to say Gina Honey, and they're going to be watching this video. I can guarantee you they're watching this video. So I read their question. When are you going to have, why do you always say aliens? When is the word fallen angels, demons, or angels going to come out of your mouth? Well, it's coming out of my mouth today, and thank you for your comment. Because it triggered a question in my mind. It did. Why? If aliens exist, why don't people see them? Why don't the majority of the people, I mean like 99.9% of people in the world, see them? It is a really good question to ask, because that right there in itself is why people have a hard time accepting the existence of aliens. They do. Is it because they reside on a different level than what we do? We're in a 3D world. We are. Is it because they maybe reside in maybe a 4D world? Angels are like on a very, very high realm up there. And not everybody can see angels. There are people who do see angels. And I think the reason they do is because they're able to go to that realm. If somebody's got a better word for me to use in here other than realm, because I'm just letting these words spill out. Other people are able within their spirit to go to that area where they're at. So then I thought, again, if they exist, why doesn't everybody see them? If you think of children when they're really little, they have imaginary friends. They know they're there. They can feel them. They can see them. They talk to them. They play with them. And why is it? Why is it? What makes it so different for children to be able to speak and see into this other realm? Is there something within them that is still fully activated, fully aware, that has not been blocked as they grow up, as they get older? Is there something within them that has not been blocked? And then I thought, well, you have the pineal gland right there, you do. And it is said that certain things in your life calcifies it. And that's like, it's like your connection into that spiritual realm, into the other dimensions or something like that. It's your spiritual connection. And it would make sense. I know at age 5, if your first visit to the dentist, you get a mouthful of fluoride. You do. You got to hold it in your mouth for 30 minutes. You can't eat or drink for 30 minutes. But there's many things that talk about that right there. Third eye, your third eye, and children with their ability Not all of them, I'm going to say not all of them can or do have imaginary friends. Not all of them. I should be moving this around. Not everybody have imaginary friends, but there are some who do have a gift. There is a gift that, I guess when a child is born, it is like passed down from generation to generation, this gift, you all. I had a neighbor in Hawaii. Her name was Anna. Anna's mother and her grandmother had a gift. They could see into the spiritual realm. They could feel it. They could walk by somebody and know every single thing about them as they walked by. And she explained to me sometimes it's so difficult to have that ability within you, to have that type of gift, because if that person has had very traumatic experiences and you're walking by them, you're going to absorb all that traumatic experience inside your being. You are. And or this person, perhaps she said one time when she was walking by just down the street, this person was so troubled within their spirit they didn't know what to do, and she stopped and she told them what was going on in their life. She told them everything about it. And they said, yes, that's what's happening and stuff. And I don't know what else she said. I don't. But that woman was very thankful. She ran into Anna. But Anna was like, her mother had the gift. It was passed down to her. Her grandmother had the gift, and she remembers it. So there's that instances. But really, if aliens exist, why can't the majority of people see them? Why can't they? And how can cameras pick up what humans can't? See, that's strange too, you all. It really is strange. The cameras that we have, they're able to tap into that realm right there. And I'm sorry if I'm continuing talking. I'm trying to focus on here. Thank you so much for your comments. This is serious. This really is serious, what we're talking about, because that is a major reason why people find it very hard to accept UFOs, and especially the existence of aliens, and or some say, Gina, fallen angels. Well, the fallen angels are on this earth too. Now, I'm not going to say that there are not any fallen angels flying around in crafts on this earth, or any fallen angels walking inside this earth. You might as well say demons, evil spirits. They exist, just like angels, angelic beings, good beings, benevolent beings. They exist. And I think it would be easier for people to believe in angels. They don't have a problem believing in the spiritual realm where angels are. They know that there's angels. But to say that there's aliens, and someone replied to the comment that the gentleman had wrote. Let me talk about this, you all. This is so important. It really is very, very important. I feel that within my spirit. When the guy said, Gina, when am I going to hear? You say aliens all the time. When am I going to hear coming out of your mouth fallen angels, demons, and or angels? And the lady responded, if you're that lady, thank you, because I did read both your comments. We prefer aliens. Well, aliens is a better term to get people's attention. Okay, it is. It's kind of like a neutral term, but then, it's more common to hear that. Okay, it is. And we all know that there are evil beings on this earth and there are good beings on this earth. We know that. We do. We're not saying that there ain't. We're not saying that there's no such thing as fallen angels, demons, or angels. None of us are saying that, because we know if you are tapped into this spiritual realm, you know that that stuff exists. And you know that there's aliens. You do. And UFOs. And they're on a different... You all, come on. Somebody needs to give me a different word to describe them other than realm. Or is it density? No, it's not density, you all. Like we got the 3D world, we got a 4D, we got 5D. I know that there's a better word for me to be using. I think they're resonating on a different dimension. They are. And could it be the reason the majority don't see them. Good morning. Um, Dimensions, thank you, Michelle Honey. Dimensions, could it be that our ability, we was born with it? Let's just say that we were all born with it. When we came into this world, we did have that ability within us to sense and see and all of that kind of stuff. But as we grew up, something happened. And if you do think about that part right there, something happened along the way, and that pineal gland, like the third eye, became blocked. It kept getting calcified and calcified and calcified to where, boom, it was no longer functioning. And that's why perhaps some in the scientific community would refer to it as you don't need it or nothing like that. They really don't even acknowledge the spiritual aspects of it, because it really does. If you have that area in your head, and I'm no expert on it, I'm just talking with whatever flowed into my mind. I'm trying to explain, what if, with that being calcified with all the fluoride and stuff like that and all the other stuff they put to just kind of block that connection, what if that is the main reason why the majority of people find it very, very difficult to believe in aliens and demons and fallen angels and stuff? Because that spiritual connection, that intuitiveness, that third eye is no longer functioning the way that it should, because it's literally blocked. And they can't help it. They can't, because there's nothing there that would allow them to delve deeper into what other people are saying. They can't even resonate, because that ability, that inquisitiveness, that desire within them to want to go there, it seems so far-fetched to believe in the aliens or anything else in the spiritual realm. And then you have to ask yourself, is there a reason why? Why don't people look into it more? Why don't they give it a second thought? Is this part of a greater plan, um, a greater plan to keep humanity in the dark? Is it like a physical veil, which is out there, has been put over everyone's eyes? The majority of the population, 90, we can see it, we can even say 99% of the population, a physical veil has been put, a block, so that we cannot see. And why? If so, why? Why? Is it they don't want us to know? They don't want us to know that there is another dimension other than this one? Because if we do, then we would realize, if we can see it, that we're also part of that we came from that. If we could see it, if you can literally see into the other dimension, that means you are literally connected with it somehow. And if you can connect with it and you can see with it, you're just as powerful too. And you don't even realize it, you all. Don't even realize it. Let's see what's happening. How are we doing on here in this comment chat, this comment section? I don't know if we have a moderator, but we're doing good, you all. Yeah. Antonia, to catch me early in the morning, hoping that you catch my comment. You'd love for you to know you are gracious, amazing. Thank you. Tea Honey in Ireland, you be looking for the new, oh, really? That's interesting. There's a lot of, since you mentioned that, there's a lot of players on this earthly realm in a lot of areas that are being told, your time is up, it's time for new leadership. Because they got to have fresh new leaders with a certain mindset is what they've got to have. That's perfect, you all. We are everywhere. Tina, you're choosing to let Yahweh protect me from the evil. That's great. It is great, you all. We've got to have protection in the spiritual realm, and you know it. You cannot let your defenses down one bit because you're like a sitting duck. You ever see that? I don't know, it's like a Nintendo game. They had that duck thing where you shoot that gun. I forget what it's called. Try to shoot that little duck. Um, yeah. So if aliens exist, and that's why this would be a question for the majority of people who don't believe in UFOs and who don't believe in aliens and or fallen angels walking on the earth, demons on the earth, or angelic beings. Wow, it's really dark over there, you all. Look at that. That looks really pretty right there. Looks nice on the phone too, like that, you all. So much greenery. It is. Um, oh, duck hunt. Thank you, Terry. That's what it was. It was duck hunt. So the majority of the people say, if aliens exist, why don't we see them? Why aren't there any pictures of them, you all? Why aren't there any pictures of the aliens if they exist? Now, I was fortunate enough, when I started this journey, I was outside one night. I was putting insulation in my she shed after I had first got it back in around 2018, maybe the early 2019. I was taking pictures, and somehow I caught the top part of, it looked like two, they were short beings from the other dimension. I cut the top part of them because they had their hands like that over their face. And there's two of them walking up my side yard. I caught only from there up. And you know they don't like their picture taking, and it's very hard. I did. I captured it. I shared it. I inverted it. And it showed up at nighttime. And why do these aliens, let's talk about this, and a lot of the UFOs, why do they only show up at night? Why at night? You've seen that realm. Why do they show up at night? Why do they show up, the aliens or the beings or dimensional beings? Let's call them interdimensional beings for the sake of being neutral, whether they're good or whether they're bad. Why do some of the interdimensional beings show up at night? Why in the night? And why they show up in your bedroom? And if they do you get a feeling that is kind of unsettling in your spirit with them showing up like that? Thank you, Michelle, honey. And we have beings. People can see them in the daytime, angelic beings, angels of the very, very, very high dimension, way up there you are. They show up in the daytime. Okay, they do. They'll show up anywhere they want to, and you'll know it too. There's like a glowing, some people see the glowing light. There are some dimensional beings that appear like a great big fire, all-consuming fire. My stepdad, who my mom married after my dad passed away, he remembers in his mother's house when he was younger, he felt a presence and he saw the kitchen table. And on top that kitchen table was a flame, just, and he felt it. He felt it. He wasn't scared, but he felt the power of that flame, and he knew that it was a higher dimensional being, like a god, a godly, holy like fire that he saw. And perhaps you all have seen something like that, or you've seen like a illuminated image, a light that just appeared out of nowhere, looked kind of like a bodily form. Maybe you have seen something like that also. Mm, you, I also was thinking about something too, but it kind of don't go into this, but maybe I need to save that for another time. I got a bee buzzing in my ear right now. It just wants to buzz in my ear, so that's fine. You go ahead and buzz. I'm probably going to make this a short video because now my words are done. My main question is, and I'm just throwing it out there, that people, I think, ask what's on their mind. If aliens exist, why don't we all see them? Why only certain people see them? And if UFOs exist, why don't we all see them? Why do only certain people see them? Because this is too much for them to think. Yeah, and that's a problem. That's what I would hear a lot. How does she, me, myself, how does she manage to take all those pictures of those UFOs? Why is she and and there's everybody else in this world, why is she the only one who is showing these pictures that I was showing of the ships? I heard it time and time and time again because I was pumping them out. It was 3 times a day. Every time I go outside, I literally would, I'm not joking. I would walk over here at night when I worked my second shift job. And even in the morning time, I would take my iPhone like this and I would point it right here in the western sky. And I had a live photo and I'd push the button with my clip-on lens and somehow my flashlight came on and it was like a long exposure and the ships would show up. That's how that would happen, but I heard it time and time again. Why she, of all people, nobody people should capture and share them? Oh, it's continuous and they probably still do that. And I had no answer. I had no answer. A lot of people filled in the answer to the questions that these people who didn't want to believe in UFOs, they said because she was meant to, because she was chosen to. That's what they said. And I couldn't help it. I was told it's only going to be 4 years. And my 4 years, I'm in my 4th year now. I am. I'm not taking the pictures of the ships anymore. That was a period of time where all I did was take pictures. That was it. Continually, continually, continually. I flooded the internet with my pictures. And I literally do mean flooded it. So we have people who are skeptical and who were skeptical. And even if the UFOs or aliens or interdimensional beings, angels, benevolent beings, even if they were to physically show up in front of them, some people are just going to totally dismiss it. There will be a school of thought saying, no, that's Project Blue Beam. Even if, now let me ask you this. Let's talk about that. If I were standing right here and I was a person who did not believe in UFOs or interdimensional beings or aliens, although I heard people talk about them and stuff, and I'd say, if they exist, why don't very many people see them? Why can't we all see them? If I was that type of person and say I was walking right here and I stopped, and right here in front of me right now, I'm physically speaking, a being showed up right here, and or a being showed up right here. And I had in the back of my mind the seed that was planted saying, oh, it's Project Blue Beam. So I would stay right here. I would say, well, no, I'm sorry, you don't exist. You're Project Blue Beam, you don't exist. Or, no, you don't exist, you're Project Blue Beam. They told us there'll be a Project Blue Beam. Or if I look up in the sky, let me talk about this. If I look up in the sky and all of a sudden I see this UFO in the sky, and I see all the trees, the leaves on the trees starting to move erratically as if some great big force of wind is there or something, and or I can feel the vibration or something of this ship up there, am I going to look at it and say, oh, you're just a hologram, you don't exist? Am I going to say that? Even though I can feel the physical effects and I can see the physical effects, am I going to say you don't exist? Or say, like if a interdimensional being appeared right in front of me and I'm saying, well, no, you're Project Blue Beam, you don't exist. And then what if all of a sudden these leaves start moving, or all of a sudden I see this thing like this going back and forth. Am I going to still say, you're not real, you don't exist, it's just a hologram? Holograms can't do that. Holograms, that bee is on my head. It must love me. Okay, holograms don't do that. They cannot physically move stuff like that. However, like an interdimensional being can, a spiritual being can move things, okay? And in that instance, if I'm sitting there and I'm seeing something, this bee will not leave me alone. If I'm sitting there doing something or watching it and it's doing something, that bee is distracting me, you all. That little, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying, you all. Yeah, I'm not going to still be in denial. Okay, I'm not going to still be in denial. If something appears in front of me and I'm going to say, you're just a hologram, and that starts moving, and then I see their hand grab this and this starts moving, even though they might look see-through or something. No! How can I physically reject what I'm seeing right there? There's something there and it's causing it, you all. There is. Yeah, so this other realm, there is another dimension. There's lots of dimensions. There's other realms. There are. And they reside alongside of ours at times, like parallel worlds and things like that. That's another whole other thing, you all. It is. Um, yeah. So the whole thing is, we live in a world where it's hard for people, the majority of the population, I think, to accept the fact that UFOs are real. Whether they come from the ground, there are some that literally, they come from the sky, they go down into shafts into the ground, like a whole civilization down within there. And then there are some that literally come from up there. You can see them, and they literally manifest, is what they do. There are those that manifest, and there are angelic beings. There are demons, okay, walking this earth. There's angels walking this earth. Higher dimensional beings that have the ability to take on a human, a physical form. They can take over your body too. They can. May sound a little scary. It may. But they all exist. And it's hard for some people to accept it. But one day, I think that they're going to, all these doubters, you can say there's like that doubting Thomas. Doubting Thomas. And I'm not going to get into that either. But he was told, just stick your hand right here into my side, right there, where he was pierced, just like that. Because no, I don't believe it. That's it, you all. I'm done. My words are done. I'm going to go. They really are done. I am going to go. I have to end this video right now. So that's right. That's right, you all. Thank you for your comments. And I would encourage you to continue to comment on here and thank I don't even know your name, the guy who said, Gina, honey, when am I going to, he didn't say honey, but I'm going to say it. Gina, honey, when am I going to hear angels and fallen angels and demons or coming out of your mouth? You heard it now. And the lady, we prefer aliens. Okay. So yeah, I saw both your comments. So thank you. I didn't delete it. I left it. The thought entered my mind, and then I thought, no, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. I am. That's how that worked. Arg. Yeah. You all, thank you so much. It's really something to ponder, because a lot of people have that going in their mind. If aliens exist, why don't the majority of the people see them? Well, maybe something happened along the way as we grew older. Like children, they could have invisible friends, little imaginary friends, and I think those children are able to see and feel from the other dimension. I really do. But as we got older, something happened and we lost that connection. Not everybody, but the majority of people lost that connection. That I think is very, very important for us to have that wholeness within us. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You all, please give this video a thumbs up because it is a very important question to ask. And it does need to be answered. It does. It needs to be answered. And it needs to be spoken about. Have a wonderful day. You all, love you.